Alright, well, here's my masking tape, and I'm going to cut a little piece of masking tape off of the roll, and I'm going to take each one of these little pieces and just kind of stick it to where I can get at it. So I'm going to take and just cut these little tiny strips off of the, if you want to tear them, it's just as, you can tear them too. You're going to get all these pieces put together, and there's alright, the magic of television or video. There's our extra pieces. So there's our pieces that we're going to use to put these things together. So we're going to hold two of them together like this. We're going to make sure that they're flat, and we're going to take this piece of tape and we're going to put it across and around. Now it's not really tight. So then we're going to move over to the next one, and we're going to place it in next to it, our next toothpicks. And we're going to put those two toothpicks so that they're next to one another, and that they are meeting at the corners. And we're going to wrap that around, and we're just very lightly putting those together like that. We're not, taping them. So some of this glue still needs to be trimmed off of some of those pieces. So again, you want to make sure that that stuff is out of the way. So either take your scissors and go through and cut that off. All right, so now these are doing well. They're laying in next to one another. We're going to add in our next piece, and you're not going to see the magic yet till we get all those pieces stuck together. All 5 of our building units stuck together. So we have one last one to tape in place. Now, when we join these two sides of these two pieces, with this, I'm going to use this bigger piece of tape. Now, it doesn't have to be. And see, I'm just pinching it together. So we got to remove all this tape. So we don't want to tape it up like we're taping a Christmas package. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bend these things down, or bend them up, so that we can connect this side and this side. So when you do that, what happens is it raises it up off the ground and makes that building unit that we're going to build all of our geodesic dome with. So we're going to get those two sides together. Now I'm going to kind of sandwich it in here like this. I'm going to take this last piece of tape, and I'm going to tape it down, or tape those two pieces together. Well, I'm going to wrap it around. I didn't do a good job. Alright, so now that we have those pieces together, you can see that they no longer lay flat. So when we get all of them to where the corners match to one another, here's all of our corners are matching, and this is our building unit. You can see this building unit raises up off the ground. Now when we have 12 of these building units, then we're going to be able to put them together. We're going to make sure that they all are touching up there in the corner, because when you have all these done and to make sure that they sit flat, you got to make sure that all those glue pieces are out of the way and all of these corners are touching one another. You might need to move that one down a little bit. Alright, so what we want is, this is a pentagon. It's a 5-sided star. It's a pentagon shape. And what we're going to have to do is, after all of those are done, we're going to need to put those in such a place that we can glue those together. So what we normally do is we'll set them on another piece of paper. And again, every time you do this, you need to make sure, and this might be wax paper for you, you put your name and period number, so all your work stays your work and not somebody else's work. So once you have your building unit done, you have to take some more of your Elmer's glue, and you want to be able to put a little drop of glue right there on all those edges, so that we're gluing those ends of those toothpicks in our next. And again, this glue is going to drip down on the paper, and it's going to be stuck to the paper. But we need to get the one unit, we need to get this individual three toothpicks connected and glued to the other individual toothpicks. So that's why you have to put the glue in a way so you make sure that all of them are touching one another. Now that glue, gravity is going to cause that glue to fall down. That's going to be our building unit. You can see that I'm trying to raise it up off the ground so that you can see that it from its side, it has some depth to it. It's not flat anymore like before. Then when we have all 12 of those, we're going to use the same technique. We're going to connect this flat edge to the flat edge of another building unit that's going to be over here, made with 5 more triangles that have been put together like this with the tape. So I'm going to go ahead and this has got to be completely dry before I can start putting these together. But you have to have 12 of these building units made out of 5 triangles apiece to make these building units, and then these building units get put together to make the sphere. All right, then have you some fun.